Hello. It's Sunday, June the 1st, I think. Um, yeah, I don't know. I am back in a hospital, as you can tell. Here's what happened. Friday, May 23rd, I had a C2 to T2 fusion with Methodist Hospital. Surgery, I guess it went okay. Recovery, no, not okay. First day, they wanted me up, walking, all of the things. I couldn't even get my pain under control. And I'm still struggling with that. So I think I mentioned in another video, the first OT session was disastrous. They tried to push me up by my incision, basically berated me for not trying hard enough, all of the things. So that didn't go well. So the next day they sent in their PT whisperer, so to speak, I guess. He was an arrogant asshole. I will die on that hill. So he also tried to get me up, and I was like, stop it. Let me go. Put me down. I don't know what is going on. I don't know if she nicked a part of my spinal cord. I don't know if there is a nerve that she accidentally messed with. I don't know what the fuck. But there's something going on in my back that makes it impossible for me to sit up without being in the most excruciating pain ever. Ever. So he came back the next day and he's like, let's just, try some exercises. And I was like, cool, whatever. So we were moving my legs, we moved my arms, and he moved one of my arms a specific way around my back. And when I tell you that I was screaming bloody murder, I was screaming bloody murder, not even realizing what had happened. So the nurse walks in, she's like, what happened? What happened? He's like, I don't know. We hadn't even done anything. And I was like, he moved my arm behind my back. And I said, it's caused some kind of spasm or something. I said, but it hurts and it will not stop. So he left in a tizzy. Fuck him. I don't care if he's in a tizzy for the rest of his life, for all I care. So the nurse and I talked, and I said, there's got to be something else going on. I said, because there's something in my mid back that when I get, like, this is as far as I can sit up in a bed. This is it. What you see is what you get. So went through that. So last Thursday, which would have been what, 28th-ish? I don't know. I was transported from Methodist to a kind of nursing home, recovery, respite kind of care place. And I was there for 24 hours. On Friday, which would have been what, May 30th, started having chest pains. And it was like right here in my chest. I knew it wasn't my heart. Well, I thought it wasn't my heart. And I thought maybe we were just late on my medicine, because that was the one thing I was struggling with, was because I was told that they would follow my medicine schedule, and they hadn't been following my medicine schedule. So I got the medicine about 2 hours late, but the pain wouldn't go away. And it kept growing and growing, and then it started moving. So we went from my chest to my side to around my back to around the other side, up my neck, down my arm. So finally, they gave me like 4 or 5 nitro things underneath my tongue. And when the pain didn't go away, they brought an ambulance. Okay. Ambulance like, we'll take you to, the nearby hospital. I was like, well, you just take me to Methodist. And they're like, why Methodist? I said, well, that's where I had my surgery. And I said, if this is something related to that, you're going to take me to the hospital, and then they're just going to have to transfer me, not Mercy, Methodist, over to Methodist. And he said, if you're stable enough, we'll take you. So I was stable enough, they took me. They put me in some room. I have no idea what this room was. And they were asking me a bunch of questions, got an IV started, pumped me full of 3 different meds, and I couldn't tell you the next thing. I don't remember anything else after that except trying to get home. And so they get me in an ambulance, and they're like, "Where we need to take you back to the rehab center." And I'm like, "Why aren't you just taking me home?" They're like, "Because you need to go back to the rehab center." I was like, "It's 3:30 in the morning. Are they even available for me to go back to the rehab center?" Listen, I'm under the influence of like 3 different drugs. I don't know what I'm talking about. Nobody should be taking orders from me. So they were like, "Well, we'll take you home." So we get home. Rob's there. He's like, "What are you doing?" And they were like, "She said to come home." And he was like, "She can't come home. She can't move." So they were like, "That's what she said." And I said, "I'll be fine." They left. 5 minutes later, I'm on the floor. I can't get up. I didn't fall. I just kind of slid down onto my butt. Funny now, looking back then, I'm sure Rob was terrified and very pissed off. So called 911 again to have them come get me. Put me in bed. Can you just put me in the bed? So they get me in the bed. I go to sleep. I wake up, forget what had happened, went to go pee, fell again. So this time, Rob calls 911 and he's like, "No, you're going back to the hospital." He's like, "No, I'm not, we're not fighting about it. This is what's going to happen." I said, "Okay." But what we fought about was medicine. I was like, I need at least one more muscle relaxer. And he's like, "Miss, you can't take this many pills at one time." I said, "Yes, I can. I take this many pills all the time. Give me another muscle relaxer." Because I was having issues with that spot down the back of my spine. So he relented and gave me one. They brought me to the hospital. I think I slept on a stretcher in the room for like 6 hours. And then they finally admitted me. So the issue was, since I didn't go back to the original place, I was no longer considered a patient there, I guess. I don't know how all that works, you guys. So I have to go through all that again. Well, they went ahead and admitted me here, where I'm at today. I'm at a Baylor because over the past 2 days, I've fallen 5 times. And so they're like, "Yeah, no, you're not moving." So I'm basically on bed arrest. It wouldn't matter anyway because I tried to get up to go to the bathroom so I wouldn't have to use a bedpan. No, couldn't do it. Couldn't do it. PT and OT came and tried to work with me. They got me setting up, and it was that thing again where it was just like this. It felt like my spine was tearing outside of my body, something. So I was like, maybe I just need like a steroid epidural or something to calm. Clearly one of those nerves or something is pissed off at me, and I need it to calm down so I can move on with my therapy. So I'm here for now. I was at the other place for 1 day. They're going to see about getting me back there, but the OT person here suggested it may be easier for me to stay in-house and work with a medical team of therapists rather than going to like, sorry, instead of like going to a nursing home or whatever, which, I mean, they do have therapists, etc., but not necessarily the same kind of therapies, etc. So I have no idea what we're doing. All I know is that I already feel like this was the worst mistake I've ever made in my life. I have to keep reminding myself, Missy, we're 9 days in. Just 9 days. It's barely been over a week. But the pain is unmanageable at this point. And like I told the OT and PT person today, I was like, "Listen, I have a high pain threshold. I have lived with chronic pain now for over 10 years. I said, this is want to end my life kind of pain." And I think I mentioned that in another video. Like, I told them at the other hospital, like, "Just let me die. Just let me die. Or, kill me or whatever." Because the pain was it's just so bad. And I feel like no one warned me about it. And maybe I'm the only one, I'm an anomaly who has it. But Jesus, Mary, and Josephina, it sucks. I hate the way my hair is growing in, by the way. I mean, it's kind of the least of my concern. But, yeah. Anyway, so I'm back in the hospital. I don't know how long I'll be here. Rob's mad at me. I'm mad at my surgeon. Literally, I had my surgery on a Friday, which was Memorial Day weekend. She wasn't on call. I get it. But I didn't see even her PA until Tuesday. And I didn't see anybody after that. Even when I left on Thursday, nobody was there. No one said, we think this is a good idea with you for you. You know, this is what we think you should do, etc. I was just kind of sent. Ha, ha, ha. Sent on my merry way. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. That's where my head is at. I just, sorry, these are those xylitol suckers. They're supposed to help with like toothbrushing. They're mostly for kids, but since I haven't been able to brush my teeth as often as I like, I've been trying to have one of these at least around a mealtime. So yeah, that's it. That's where we're at. That's what's happening. Sucks. I hate it. I am on the fence about whether or not this surgery feels like it was worth it. I feel like I'm worse off now than I was when we started. And again, I don't know if I just need like an epidural steroid to cause things to slow down. That's the other thing. They keep trying to give me a Celebrex. I'm like, y'all, I cannot have Celebrex. It is an anti-inflammatory. I cannot have an anti-inflammatory for 90 days. Stop trying to give me a Celebrex. So yeah, anywho, that's it. Next appointment in 9 days, I go get the staples removed. I don't even know what to think or say at this point. I just kind of feel abandoned. And I understand hospitals and stuff have quotas and they have protocols and blah, 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 blah. But again, RA flare, you know, inflamed from head to toe. We had this, you know, this, not toxic, but like this, what's the word I'm looking for? Trauma on my body on top of everything else. And then when we just want me to be able to move around and be hunky-dory, and I just don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. So I can't walk. I've tried several times. Can't stand, can barely sit up. And I just keep trying to remind myself that we're only 9 days in, Misty. 9 days, 6 months progress. It'll be all right. We just got to get in the right spot for all of this to happen correctly, and then we'll go from there. So that's your update. I love you guys. Thank you for those of you who sent me cards. Rob's been bringing them to me from the mailbox. They've really helped. It's been awful. Look at me. Oh, I look like death. Ow.